So I'm here today with Adria, who participated in the group coaching program, Freedom to Thrive, Redefining Service in Nonprofit Leadership. And she's generously offered to share her experience today about the transformation that she experienced in the program. And so it's really great to have you here, Adria. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here with you, Daniela.
Me as well. It's really, really special. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I'd love to start just by asking you what was going on in your life when you joined the coaching program?
Oh my goodness, what wasn't going on in my life? Enjoying the coaching program. Probably the better question, easier to answer. As you know, co-leading a nonprofit here in Atlanta, Georgia, we'd actually recently had one of our executive team members, so one of my co-leaders, had gone on to a different job. And so there were just two of us. And then we were in the midst of um, losing a big grant due to federal cuts, that happened here. So it was just a lot happening, and really trying to navigate that with my partner who leads the organization with me, and all the other things that I do in my world, that are either a part of my leadership or a part of my role at the organization. So it was just a lot happening, I think, all at once, and having to taking on someone else's role and having to integrate that right into my work, and to want to do it well, because that's what I think it's all about. It's like, oh, Adria wants to do this well and not fail at it. But those were all the things that were happening.
Yeah, thank you. And that's so much. And it sounds like there's so much anyway. And then having these two things in addition, right? With one of the three of your leadership team moving on, and then the funding cuts as well.
Yes.
And I guess I'm curious, like when you joined the coaching program, what was your intention? What was your hope? What did you want to get out of it?
Well, the biggest part was I think for me is that piece, Adria doesn't want to fail.
Mm.
And so when I know you, and I was like, oh, yes, this is an opportunity to allow myself to have some coaching and a space to just navigate all of the things that were like in my mind that I couldn't really get clear on. So I think I just saw it as an opportunity, especially as somebody who does a lot of holding space for other people. It was great to say, oh, whew, finally, a space for Adria, and especially around with other nonprofit leaders. So that was really important. I loved that you were focused on women who were also leading, who might also have similar issues that I might have. So I appreciated that. And I think just to have a place to process those things that I was navigating, right? Like taking on other work, trying to figure out my own lack of confidence where those things are concerned, because I could feel that, like, oh, I'm doing this, but can I really do it? So
Yeah.
it really was that.
Wow. Yeah, and I really hear that, Adria, because I think that's so, like your story is so common among women that are working in nonprofit and just holding so much. And like you're really spending all of your time supporting other people, but where is the space for you to receive support for yourself?
Exactly. That's not like a management training, because that's what people for some reason think that's going to be the answer. So this was really it felt like a safe place
Yeah,
to just take a breath and
yeah,
be able to share how I was successfully and unsuccessfully, you know, taking taking the daily steps every time I showed up, because wasn't all working, but it was a safe place to really be able to share that.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, right? Like the safety of being able to say, I'm this powerful leader who's doing so much, and there are
Mm-hmm.
places that I don't know, and there are places that I don't feel confident, and like to come to a space where I'm allowed to feel like that and to actually share it instead of feeling like
Mm-hmm.
I need to always be the strong one and the confident one who knows and who's holding things for other people.
Exactly. And to get coaching on it, right? So I think it's so important for, um, I think coaching is important,
Yeah.
obviously, but I think that I was like, I just knew I needed that coaching and having, you had been working with us already with our team and our entire team on the conflict positivity piece. And
Yeah.
that had been such still wonderful impact within
Yeah.
the organization. And then to just say, okay, so what does Adria need to work on that she
Mhm.
can have a place where she can also get coached for those things that I'm not quite seeing, especially where I don't feel confident. Because I felt okay taking the role, and doing and leading the organization. I've been doing that for many years, but then to have us in this very uncertain place
Yeah.
with, everything happening with our funding, I didn't feel as confident about that and how I might show up and do that well. Uh, so for me, just being able to be coached by
Mhm.
someone who not only I trusted because I had worked with you, but just knowing that the skills and the techniques and the modalities you use, I knew that I would be able to get what I needed out of it.
Mm, mm. Yeah, thank you. And like I love what you're saying because I think it also it's such a sign of awareness and strength to go, I had confidence in what I was doing, but now all these other factors have made things precarious and I'm holding a lot more. And like, what do I need from myself? I need that support. And I know that the coaching is going to serve me because it's also showing me things that I'm not aware of
Yeah.
that can help me to shift and stand in a more powerful place. And so I'd love to ask you what did shift through the coaching, through our time together for you? What were the shifts that you experienced?
I was just thinking about this the other day
Okay.
because I had lots of shifts in the program and probably some I can't name that I will still continue to become aware of.
Yeah.
But so shifting around my confidence around my work was huge. As you know, I handle all the accounting and finances in my organization, and I've done that for many years, right? Like I have a master's in accounting and um, have access to the knowledge, but there was a lack of confidence there. And there was a huge shift in just recognizing where that story was coming from and how much I was trying to hold everything together and having this big, huge realization that, oh, I'm in this story about how this should actually happen and how I should be doing this and how, oh my goodness, everything's going to fail again and what's going to happen. And I didn't realize I was in that story
Mm.
still, right? Like I thought I had gained all these skills, had all this knowledge. That would, like I would feel confident, in being able to, navigate, uh, financials and all. And it's not like I don't, but the story was getting in the way. So I found myself overworking, really kind of overworking, over processing information, and didn't realize that was the story around Adria doesn't want to fail at this.
Mm. Mm.
And that was such a big aha moment for me
Yeah.
to look at that. And then just to recognize that sometimes my work now, because I think there was a time in my life where there was a lot of busy work. And my work now, for me to actually do it, it does take lots of time for me to just be able to sit at my computer or sit with people, talk it through, think it through. How are we gonna put this together? To talk to other people about, hey, does this work? I wasn't giving myself appropriate time. And I think just being in the container with other women who were also having the same issue, and realizing there was this big aha moment where I was like, oh, my work does take a long time. And for some reason, I was thinking it should take less time. I don't know why I was thinking it should take less time, but just giving myself that breather allowed me to just put space in my calendar to say to people, no, I'm working on something, and to delegate, because that's a big thing, right? Not having the proper support. So I was able to delegate. And even now, like every day when I'm just sitting, I'll think like, oh, I could give this to this person. And then I think about all the things I need to do to give it to that person. And it gets really clear, like, okay, I just need to make sure they have instructions. Then I'm going to sit with them and talk to them about what I need. And it won't even take a long conversation. It's just that I need to be able to hand it to them and realize that it's worth it. Because I think before I felt like, oh, no, I need to keep it. But then it was like, oh, but my things that I have to do take a long time. I can't keep trying to do all the things.
Yes,
I think those are just a few of the big ahas, but those were big for me.
that's huge. Yeah. And I think it's so common what you're saying, right? That as leaders, we try to hold on to everything like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then also sometimes I think maybe think it's going to take more time to try and explain it to somebody else. We don't delegate it, but then it's like actually preventing us from doing the pieces that we really need to do and having the space to focus.
Yeah.
And then also what you're saying that's so big around like if I'm carrying the story inside that's about fear of failing, then the way I'm doing the work, no matter how much it is just like so much more pressure that I'm putting on myself.
Right.
And
Right.
how exhausting and depleting to be in that space. Right?
Yes, and then not supporting myself properly, right? Because I'm thinking I'm failing and other people are going to see it, and oh my goodness. And so now it's so much easier to depend on other people. Like they will tell me, no, I need you to do this part. I got the other part. But I need you to do this part, and that's really important. There was one more thing that was super a big shift for me, which was understanding about valuing, being able to value what I contribute. So I think I thought I valued it, but I didn't realize that I felt like I couldn't own it. So I was constantly giving it, I say giving it away. That might be not the right way to say it, but there's a way in which I wasn't even allowing myself to take credit for it. So other people also weren't able to see that they should even give me credit credit for being able, contributing that. It's not that they wouldn't want to, it's that I'm constantly not accepting that, oh no, you did that. And yes, that was a great contribution. And I think that seems like really simple, but it's not simple, right? Being able to own that for me, especially being a Black woman in this, in the world, period, but especially in nonprofit. So, and in leadership, that was really huge. Just the recognition of that, the value of what I contribute. I get to own that. And that gets to be a part of who I am. And it's okay for that to happen. That just allowed me actually to contribute even more because I'm valuing myself. So I'm not waiting for someone else to give me validation, or looking for it in someone else. Like I'm able to validate that for myself.
That's incredible. And that's so important, right? Because you're doing all of those things and you're making all of those contributions, but to really feel into it for yourself, I think it's so important. And also because it's kind of like that cycle. If we don't do that, if we don't acknowledge or validate ourselves, we kind of keep pushing forward and pushing ourselves further and further, partly because we haven't actually seen what we've done, right? We're just focused on what we haven't done, what we need to do.
Right. And constantly looking for other people to say, oh, yay, you did it.
Right.
Right. And putting them in some position to validate me when they don't actually have to do that. They do it anyway, right? And they do it more so now because I have already validated it for myself, right? So now I can stand alongside them and, right. And like we can have a real, for me, it seems like we can have a more genuine relationship because I'm not looking for anything outside of like the genuine relationship. What are we doing together? What are we doing here? Whether that be colleagues, friends, I can really enjoy that. Like it seems more enjoyable to me, my leadership.
Absolutely, because you're standing in your own power, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
standing fully in your own power, not looking to them for permission.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly, Daniel. Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, like what else has this made possible for you? This transformation into really owning your own contributions. Like what else has that made possible for you? How else has it affected your life?
The confidence is a big piece because I think that as I look at our organization and all of the, because we've had some really tumultuous things happen, as I shared earlier, just the confidence to know I can do this
Mm,
and feeling confident enough to know, for example, like I can bring in funding for my organization, right? My partner, my colleague does a lot of that. I can also do that. And I think there was probably a lack of confidence where that was concerned before, only because I had not validated my own contribution in the first place. However, so now I that confidence allows me to step out and take a risk, right? So
mm,
to
mm.
talk to people about not just about what we do, but to say, here is how you can support us. Here is how, here's a program that we have that you could invest in that would actually support your organization as well. And so for me, I think that level of confidence, that capacity to be able, that's really what my job is. And without that confidence that I could do that, I'm not having those conversations, right? I'm kind of just dimming myself down because because I feel like I'm not going to get it right. And now I feel much more confident in doing that. And so for me, the possibility is to be able to be the leader that I always thought I could be and to be able to bring in, support my organization financially, support myself financially because I'm no longer afraid of asking for money. It's a big thing for for women asking people to invest in them. So I'm no longer afraid of that. Because I think that's what I have to do, right? Like if I'm going to be a leader, I'm responsible for other people's paychecks. I'm responsible for my own. And if I'm going to commit to that, then I need to commit to being the person who has to do those things and not be afraid of them. So I think for me, that's a huge possibility. It's really kind of shifted how I engage with people. I'm much more open to, like, I'm writing a couple of articles with people and much more open to just share, hey, I'm writing this. Are you interested in writing something with me? I don't think I would have done that before. I really would have I just would have shied away from it. And I would have done it on my own as opposed to looking at, so there's so much more power if we collaborate on this. But that
Mm.
collaboration comes because I feel more confident that we are colleagues, right? Like that we're collaborating together because I feel like I'm contributing
Yeah,
to whatever we're creating together.
that's amazing because you've fully stepped into the ownership of it,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is, yeah, it's incredible. And it's
Mhm.
kind of like in that circumstance when you're talking about taking the risk, it's kind of like it's that cycle, right? Because we can think, well, I'm not going to succeed, but then we won't actually succeed because we're not
Right.
taking the risk that we need to succeed. So then when we
Right.
change the story of I can do it and take the risk and step up in the ways that can be really scary sometimes, then we get the results.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
amazing. Because I just really want to affirm, Adria. I mean, you were doing incredible things before, So it just, all this is done from what you're saying is just expanded the realm of possibility and your own power going forward. But there was
Yeah,
already so much there, right?
yes. It's so, and I think it's so nuanced, right? Because we feel like we've arrived kind of, but we see the stories. Like we can see like still not quite there, like something doesn't quite feel right. But the thing is, we don't always know how to name it.
Yeah.
And I think like as a coach myself, right, there's a way in which we could always like coach ourselves. And I'm not saying I couldn't, like I guess I can always self coach. But I think the power in being able to be in a space with another coach, right, to be able to say, okay, I'm just going to release all that part of me for a moment and allow someone else to take that. And I'm just going to be the person that gets to show up and look at all kind of the get some help seeing the things I can't see. That
Yeah.
was, I think that's so important. And I think that's important to name that. I mean, I just want to lift that up because I think it does take a lot of skills to coach someone who coaches all the time. And yet, or coach somebody who leads all the time, right? It's not like we don't have leadership abilities. It's someone who has the capacity to hold space for us, right? To be able to hold us and then also be able to help us see what we can't see because we still can't see
Yeah.
everything. And so I feel so grateful to you because that this experience did help me see some things that were getting in the way of me, of whatever my next level is and who I am, right?
Yeah.
Or my potential. That was definitely getting in the way. And I could not see those things. It was so amazing to have those big aha moments. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Adria. And I'm
Mm,
I'm so I'm so grateful as well that you could be part of this program. And I think what you're speaking to is so important because even when we learn the tools, and me too, right? Like we learn all the tools, and of course we
yeah,
can self-coach, but because we're in our own minds and our own experiences and our own stories, it's sometimes really hard for us to see ourselves. And we really
exactly.
do need another coach to ask the questions so that we can become aware of the things that we can't see. Um,
Yes. Yes,
so
exactly. Exactly. And a coach and I think the holding space piece is big to be able to, you have to have somebody who can actually hold a space and container for who you are, right? With all of the other things, like, yes, I do coach, and yet I needed someone who could do that for me. So I
yeah,
think that speaks a lot to who you are as a person to hold space for women leaders who are doing all these big, huge things in the world. And you have that capacity and depth and real skill. I mean, amazing skill, uh, and and really put the program together so beautifully and held that container for us so tightly. I don't know. I thought it was beautiful. I think I just want you to own that part.
now you're coaching me.
Yes, you did such an amazing job at that. I really enjoyed it. Just everything, all the emails that came out and all the reflections and all of that. So I mean, I just really think you did an amazing job in this program. I would invite anyone to coach with you because I think that they would gain so much, and you have so many skills that I think I see, like I experienced as the client and got to experience all of you. It's just amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Adria. It's just it means so much, and it's such an interesting dialogue to have, right? Because I mean, you've been my coach as well through the Feminine Power programs, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's just yeah, it feels like a beautiful kind of full circle, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
grateful for it. And
Yes, yes. amazing culture, right? To be peers and colleagues and be able to also
Yeah,
be mentor, coach, and right and coachee. Like that to me is a relationship.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's a powerful relationship that I think is not always present in our culture.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, me as well. And like you were kind of saying about the group, I think that's one of the parts that, was really my intention for this because of what we were talking about earlier, that when you're holding the leadership on your shoulders, it can be really hard to find a space where you can actually share your vulnerabilities and your challenges. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask one last question, like what were the most valuable parts of the program for you? I know you already mentioned a couple things, but I'd love to ask just to hear a little bit more from you about it.
Sure. Being in the group was very valuable. So to be able to hear other women leaders talk about their experiences, sometimes it's just nice to just sit and listen, and you have this aha moment. And I remember someone talking, oh goodness, Sada talking about the plant, being the plant. That is so profound. And so I wouldn't have gotten that if she had not been there. And it was just such a profound question she asked for herself and statement. And I was like, oh, well, she's right. And just to hear her and then to hear, Ruth sharing as well, just
Yeah,
to hear that about her experience and how talking about her experience as a woman and how we as women, right? Like we really do have to own who we are. And so to be in that group with other people who are saying those things um, helped me to feel accepted and to feel at home. I was excited to show up. I was upset on the times I couldn't be there because I was in another session, but it was like I can't get on. But to be able to be present in the group, that was amazing to be able to do that with other women. So kind of just that group culture, the rhythm worked. To be able to just check in because I think it was like, oh, well, this week I know I got to do these things. And then I get to come in and talk to everybody about what happened. So I really enjoyed that as well.
yeah, amazing. And just because people watching, I don't think they'll know what we're talking about with the plants.
Right.
So I just give a little context there. But it was when one of the women came up with this beautiful metaphor of like, well, plants just receive, right? They don't
Yes.
think about like, do I deserve to get water? Like
Yes.
they're just there and they just get it. And this can be so hard for us, like this concept of receiving. So it was just such a beautiful
It was
metaphor.
so beautiful. In fact, I said it to somebody the other day. I was like, so someone said to me about the plant and how they receive, and it was so profound. They were like, oh my gosh, you're so right.
Amazing, right? And
So
just
amazing.
like I feel like there's so many gems like that. So I think it's, you pointed to the importance of coaching and the
Hmm.
role of the coach, which is obviously critical, but I think there's also something about like the wisdom of other women and other women's lived experiences and being able to be in that space and share and hear and be a support for each other and be a stand
Hmm.
for each other as to what's actually possible. Because we're in an industry where people, self-sacrifice is expected. And that's kind of the culture that we're swimming in. And so I
Hmm.
think it's really important to be in a space where other women are standing for what's actually possible for you and for that transformation.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, it was such an amazing experience. Just to, like I said, just to sit in I think you just said it, like the wisdom
Yeah.
of the group, and sometimes just to sit and just absorb. I remember someone saying that one day, like, I'm just sitting. I just want to listen. Like I'm learning so much. So you learn so much from just listening to someone else be coached on something. And because I think the whole thing about the plant came out during someone else being coached. And I just remember being like, that just hit me. It's like, wow, that's so good. Like I definitely need to use that. So it's really powerful to have a group where you can witness someone else's transformation, and then you get to take your own lessons from that. And so then you transform as well in the process.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And
Hmm.
I guess I'm curious, Adria, like what would you say to women leaders in nonprofit who are holding so much and are thinking about, what do I need to support myself? What could really shift things for me so I can actually feel like I'm thriving and making the biggest impact I came here to make? What would you say to people who are considering joining a program like this?
Oh, I would say they need to join your program like this. Because I mean I just had such a transformation for myself. So I feel so much freer,
Mm.
right? Like just engaging like the I think sometimes people don't realize like I don't think that I always sit and get to laugh and show up like this, but it's like having been through the program, it's like it's like things got released. So I feel so much more comfortable with myself. So I think they should join your program and connect with other women, be a part of something that actually is going to change their life. Because even when you feel like it's like, I don't have time, like this is the thing that makes you have helps you make time, right? Like I think I have more time now than I than I had if I had not done the program because I would still be trying to do everything by myself. And now I'm like the regularly being able to delegate things to other people is such a huge lift that and to know how to do it, like I have clarity of mind because I actually take time to think. uh, so it's yes, they need to be here. And I would tell them to yes, invest in themselves, have their organizations invest in them because this will expand their leadership and it will allow them to create more, generate more within their organizations and generate more self-care. Because I know a lot of us are looking for self-care, and this was the biggest care for myself was to do this.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Adria. That's
Mhm.
amazing. And I love what you said too, because I think sometimes it's so hard when we're so overstretched to be like, I can't do one more thing, right? And it just becomes another burden. But to really go, well, what could happen if I actually gave myself this dedicated time and space? And then, like you're saying, I end up saving time because I'm shifting the way that I'm showing up and I'm giving myself more time. So that's powerful. It's really powerful. So thank
Mhm.
you. Just thank you so much for being here today and for going on this journey with me and the rest of the women in the group. It's been such an honor. It's been a real honor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
Thank you. Yeah, and just to say, if you're watching this video and you're feeling curious, like what could it look like for me? How could I shift to being able to actually really thrive in my own leadership and in my life? I'd love to support you. So you can book a free discovery call with me and you can find the link below.